Good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever time it is that you're watching this. I wanted to just show you a little quick project. I got some new transfers yesterday and I've been doing a lot of playing. Every time Rosie has to come visit, she hears me talking and thinks I'm talking to her, I think. So I'm just getting my paste ready. I have my candy apple and my black velvet. So I'm going to just do a simple little thing real quick. I'm going to actually make a sign for one of my wreaths. So I've been waiting for this. I got ink or some paste crusties. So I've been waiting for this particular transfer to get here because I think it's so perfect. And so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I'll show you it on my wreath. So I just washed my transfer because I had already used it because I couldn't wait any longer. So it's the Too Cold to Care, and I'm going to fuzz it just a little bit. I got to wash my towel. It's got stuff all over it. So my surface is just like a plain wood cutout from the Dollar Tree. It's super inexpensive. You can make it to what color you want that way, and they're really lightweight if you want to, like for me, putting it on my wreath. I don't want anything too super heavy. But since I'm putting it just on a painted surface, I want to fuzz my transfer a bit and get some of the stickiness off. It doesn't hurt the transfer. After we're done, when we wash the paste off, it just washes the fuzzies right off too. So, make sure I didn't move completely out of my area here. So this is Too Cold to Care, and I think it's really, really cute. So let's make sure it's straight, kind of. It doesn't have to be super straight with this transfer, fortunately. I think I want to get out one more thing. So I know you're going to think I'm weird. Well, I am. But I am going to not go like traditional colors. Feels like there's something on there. With this, is that a surface? Maybe it's my surface. Oh, there's a little tiny piece of glitter. You know, the tiniest little things, you can feel them through the transfer. It's crazy. So I'm going to go very non-traditional because I'll show you in a bit. I want it to go with this wreath I made. So I'm going to, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Let me look at my ribbon. Hold on. Yes, I'm going to do my words in black and my snowflakes and dots in red. And I know that sounds funny, but go with me on this. So, I'm going to do my words real quick. And it's a little trickier doing this transfer in two colors in some places just because there's all these little tiny dots. So if I get my head in the way because I'm looking too closely, I'm sorry, I'll pull back. But get as much as I can the right color. So if I go over a dot or two, it's not a problem. I want some of that red. Ooh, almost got that one completely. That one's a little tricky guy. I just want as much of the red accent as I can get. So I'm just squeegeeing this onto my transfer and then scraping off the excess where needed. Almost done with my words. I gotta turn this a little bit. Almost done with my words. So I'm still working on moving into my craft room. It's been a little bit of a process, but that's okay. It's going to be really nice to have my own, well, it already is really nice to kind of have my own little space. But when it's all done and I'm all moved in here, it's going to be really nice up in my living room that I'm not up there. So then I'm going to take my red, go over the rest of it. It doesn't take very much paste. These are really small little dots and snowflakes. They don't take up much. Just want to be sure that I'm working quickly enough that it's not drying under there. You know what? I'm going to get my other little tool out here. Hold on here. Let's get this guy because I can reach better with him. This is the multi-tool, and it is amazing for the tight little areas, and it's super great for stirring your pastes. But it's really great. Holly berries, I think, are my favorite thing to use it for. Holly berries and like these little dots where you just have to get into those little areas. Just like this one right here, where I need some reach. So sorry if my head's in the way, but I will take care of it. So, all right, so let's go ahead and lift this up, peel and reveal. I don't think I brought my paper back down. Okay, so remember you want to go top to bottom or left to right or right to left, whatever. Just not corner to corner. You'll stretch out your answer. Oh my goodness. I love it. I know I say that every single time, but I do really love it. I am not gifted with the ability to do this kind of thing freehand or on my own or anything. And so it's always very exciting to me because it's like, oh my goodness, I did that. And I love it. So, all right, we're going to let this dry for a second, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to get it onto the wreath. So I will be back in just a second. Okay. So the way that I attach these signs to my wreaths is, especially these thinner ones, I just flip them over and I will take my fancy schmancy little hot glue gun here and put these pipe cleaners. I try to do 4 on a sign just to give it that much more security and so it doesn't flop around or anything. I do at least 3 points of contact, but I really prefer 4. It just depends on if it hangs into the center of the wreath or not. So sometimes I have to do only 3, and sometimes I can only do 2, but I really try to do 4. And sometimes I will go through and stick a piece of ribbon across here and just give it a little extra security. If it's a thicker piece, then I will use the staple gun to adhere these, or if it's like a project that's going to be out during the warmer weather, I don't want the hot glue to melt and then make a mess, so and then end up having my sign fall off. So especially if I've used a low temp or something, and depending upon where it's going to be hung and all that kind of stuff. But I really try to do 4 points of contact, and then in the winter, I don't worry as much about the hot glue, but the rest of the year, sometimes I take my little, let me find my little, you can take tweezers or whatever, and I use my needle nose pliers because they're in here, and just kind of hold it down in the middle a little bit, or push it down into the glue really good. So, hold that down until it's set pretty well, and then go on to the next. And then I always let it set up really well before I put it on the wreath, because I don't want any of this glue, if it's still soft, to get onto my wreath and mess with my ribbons or anything. So this is this step. I've already got my wreath made, so I will pull it over here in a couple of minutes and show you then what to do. I try to use the color of pipe cleaners that I've used on my wreath so that it blends in that much more, or sometimes I'll use wire. It just depends on the sign, but I really prefer pipe cleaners just because to me they're easier. They don't hurt my fingers as bad when I twist them, or I don't know, I just prefer them for whatever reason. But you could totally use either one, whichever one you had on hand or you found easier for you. So as soon as these are set up, that one looks like it's bubbled up a little bit. Yeah, let's push that down there. Alright, so we're just about set up. Sometimes though I'll come back with a little piece of ribbon and hot glue it across the other way, and it seems to help a little bit sometimes, depending upon what I'm gluing down. It just gives it that extra, that cross layer of strength there. So, all right, let's see how it feels. It's still a little melty, so we'll give it just a second. So these little, excuse me, I just took a little sip and whoo, it got me. These little wood cutouts are, I just glued my finger to there too. It wasn't quite ready. They are so great for wreath centers and such, just because they're so lightweight. They don't add more bulk to your wreath, and then if you're shipping it, it doesn't add more weight. So they're really, really great. So here's what we have so far. And my wreath, this wreath is a little bit, well, not too puffy, but a little bit puffy. So I'm going to move a couple things out of the way so that I have some space. And I don't like lay it in my hot glue gun or anything like that. Yesterday I dropped it into my wax burner, a different one, and it's like, oh my gosh. So let me grab it. So I don't have my bow attached yet either. So this is going to take up this whole frame. So I'm going to stand up for this. Just hold on a second. Let me get situated here. So I kind of go through and I look for, even though this is done all the way around the same way, sometimes you'll have a little area that's a little more sparse than another. So I kind of just look and see, does one area look more like a top or a bottom to me? So, oops, no, it was right. Hold on. So, hold on, I got kind of a little mess here going all of a sudden, just a second. Okay, so, and I'll go through, I don't need to actually be fluffing my ribbons yet. I'll go through and do that all at the end when it's all said and done. So I take my sign. This sign I'm actually going to put dead in the center. Sometimes I'll put it off to the side, but this one I like how it's going to look right in the center. You know what? Let me pop you up a little bit here. Hold on if there's some jerking around. I'm going to try to manipulate this a little bit differently. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see. It's not worse, I don't think. So we'll go with it. Okay. So then I take, sorry if I am talking right into the microphone there. I take my pipe cleaners and I find like a little hole in the mesh of the wreath. And I really find it easier to do that part from the front. Okay. So I've got a spot. You can see right there where there's a hole in the mesh, but then my ribbons are going to come across and cover it. So I'm going to flip it over and then put my pipe cleaners between a couple of the rows here. And I'm not going to like pull it like so tight that it squishes that. I want to just leave it and wrap it a few times. Okay, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same thing here. Find a little spot without squishing my ribbons down. I'm kind of going between the natural and the buffalo plaid. And then these ribbons will come across there when I'm done. Kind of the nice thing about just putting it dead center too, you don't really have to worry about it getting like crooked while you're messing around with it. So I'm just, again, putting them through, pulling them taut but not squishing, and then just spinning it a couple of times. And we'll go back when we have it all in place and get it all tightened down. Okay, so, and then we'll go with this next one. I'm down at the bottom now. I know you're not going to be able to see it very well, but I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to put it in here, and sometimes I can do it. Sometimes I like to do it from the front. When it gets that a little bit more secure, I can do it from the front. Okay, and then I'll go back through when I'm all done too and clip off any of the pipe cleaners that need to come off. So this one, we're going to go between here. I hope this isn't like making me sick, me jostling this around. I hope. So see, I try to, when I'm near one, I try to use one of these crossbars. You see the crossbar there? But that doesn't always work either. Okay, so these are all at least attached. Okay, so see it there. And, you know, like I said, I'll go through when I'm all done and fluff these all. No one wants to put it. Some of these ribbons truly have a mind of their own. So then I've already made, and it's all squished, I've already made my bow. all squishy. So, because it's been sitting around, I made this wreath a while ago, and it's just kind of been hanging out waiting for its home. And it's kind of a crazy bow, but I like it. I like crazy bows. So see, this is why I did the snowflakes in the red. I just thought it was a cute little, I need to trim that. So I need to go back through and trim all my tails too. This one I am going to take, so that this bow is on a pipe cleaner as well. So I'm actually going to take, I want to get this centered like that. And I'm going to put this on top. A lot of times I do my bows off to the side, but in this case, you're going to have to bear with me for just a second. I'm going to put the bow on top because I want to cover up just the very tip of that snowflake where it had the hole in it from the hanger at the Dollar Tree. So, okay, so now I can go in and I can kind of manipulate. I need to trim all my ribbon tails and then spread all this out. See all these pretty, pretty ribbons. Oh my goodness, I think it's gorgeous. So I'm going to go through and trim all these. Let me grab my ribbon scissors. Sorry, I was getting a text. Hold on, let me check this really quick. We got a couple things going on. Okay, it's good. Okay, so I just like to go through and dovetail these. All of these ribbon tails. So you can see I've gone through and I did all the other ones as I made the wreath. And right now, I'm really not going to take any length off. When I get them all done, I might go back and take some length off, but I think for now I'm going to just, oops, that one did not cooperate. Oh my goodness, look at that. That just looks silly. So let me, this little one is, I was running out of this ribbon, so it's not very long. That's a little better. Yes, this one was a ribbon I had on hand, and I was just kind of using it up, but it worked really nice in this. So, you can see here, some of these are not square, so I'm just having to manipulate them just a little bit. So, man, I'm making this a whole lot more difficult on myself. I should have done this before I attached the bow. I'm not sure why I hadn't done it yet, but obviously I hadn't, so now I'm paying for it. It would have been so much easier to do before it was on the wreath. But we're working it out. It just shows you that we can make it all work. So I need to get down on this one's level. Hold on. I can't stand and do that one for some silly reason. I guess I can't stand and cut at the same time. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Leave it to me. Okay, so making our way around. And I am so into red and black for Christmas this year. I'm just loving it. So this wreath may stay in my house. We'll see. We'll see if I even put this, if I even offer this one to anybody, because I really like it. But I can only have so many wreaths in my house too, so I gotta keep that in mind. So I'm gonna, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna go through and fluff it, and then I will show you guys some pictures of it. Actually, I'm gonna go through too, and I'll just go through and any of these pipe cleaner tails, oh, you can't see that. Any of these pipe cleaner tails that are with the ribbons where I attached them, I'll go through and trim those off too if they're showing. So thanks so much for joining me. I just wanted you to see how easy it is to just add a little something cute to a wreath, even if it's not a wreath you made. If it's a store-bought wreath and you just want to add a little personalized touch, it's so easy to do. So I hope you have a super great day, and let me know what you think about this project. please be sure to subscribe to my page and let me know in the comments below what you think of it. All right, have a super great day. Alrighty, bye-bye.